Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to draft, cut and sew an asymmetrical twist design detail at the front of a pencil skirt. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! This is the front and the back pencil skirt pattern. I will go ahead and cut out the pattern pieces. In this tutorial, I will only focus on the asymmetrical twist design detail at the front of the pencil skirt. I will close the waist dart like this using a sellotape. This is the front pattern. I will go ahead and cut out the 2.5 inches wide band which I have already drawn at the upper part of the front skirt pattern. Because the design at the front of the skirt is an asymmetrical design, I will make use of the full front pattern. So I will go ahead and cut out the full front pattern on another pattern paper. So now I have already gone ahead to cut out the full front pattern on another pattern paper. I will now go ahead and draw out the dart positions like this. I will draw out the center line of the skirt using a broken line like this. The end points of the darts are very important as this will be the pivot point for the design that I intend to draw out. So I will square out a horizontal line at the end of the dart like this, and this line, I will call this line the darts line. The design will extend below the original hem of the skirt. So I will fix an extra pattern paper to the hem of the skirt using a glue stick. So this is my glue stick. I will rub it at this upper part of the extra pattern paper. I will now fix the extra pattern paper at this side of the pencil skirt like this. I will now trim off the extra pattern paper. I will connect this end to the end of the dart leg like this using a slanted line. I will measure what I have here up to the dart line like this. And this is 6 inches and a quarter. From the dart line, I will also measure another 6 inches and a quarter. I will now connect these points to the end of the dart leg like this. This point is more or less the pivot point for the twist design detail. I will also connect this upper edge at the side seam to the pivot point like this. At the hem of the pattern, I will measure and mark 3 inches away from the middle line. I will now connect it to the pivot point like this using a ruler. I will extend the slanted line like this below the hem of the skirt. Starting from the hem of the skirt pattern, I will measure and mark 3 inches on the slanted line like this. I will now connect this 3-inch point to the side seam at the hem of the skirt pattern. So now I'm done drawing out the design detail. I will now go ahead and trace it out on another pattern paper. So this is the new pattern paper. I will place the front skirt pattern on it like this. I will pin it in place. I will now trace out the design detail using a tracing wheel like this. Make sure that you also trace out the dot line. It is very important. I will now go ahead and make the tracing bolder using a ruler and a marker pen. I will now cut it out. I will label the pieces first like this. The dot line has already divided the two design pieces into two sections already. Next, I will also label the upper and the lower parts of each of the sections like this. I will now cut out the pieces via the dot line which has already divided the pieces into two sections. On the left hand side, I will divide the upper design piece into two sections like this. I will divide the lower piece into three sections like this. At the right hand side, I will divide the two smaller pieces into two sections each. I will also label all the sections so as to avoid confusion. I will use alphabets this time around for the labeling. I will now slash all the division lines, but I won't cut them all the way through. So for the spreading, I will start with the two smaller pieces first. So I will set aside these two larger pieces. I will set them aside. And I'm going to spread out these two smaller pieces on this pattern paper. This is the first piece on the right, and this is the top piece. I will spread it out by 2 inches. And I will pin in place. The upper part and the down part are positioned where they should be. That is, the upper part of the design piece is at the up, and the down part is also at the down part. This will not be the case for the second piece. So this is the second piece on the right side of the design, and this is the lower piece. I will also spread it out by 2 inches. I will now position it such that the tips of the bottom piece touch or almost touch the tips of the top piece. Also note that the pattern has been flipped such that the down part is now at the top and the upper part is now at the bottom. I will curve this sharp angle here using my French curve like this. I will now cut it out. I will remove the old design pieces. I will remove them, and I will also label the upper and the lower parts of the pattern so as to avoid confusion while sewing. I will also label the sections 1 and 2. These are the two larger design pieces on the left of the skirt design. I will now go ahead and spread them out on this large pattern paper. I will start with the larger piece, which I sliced into 3 pieces, I will spread out the pieces by 1 inch and I will pin in place. As you can see, the upper part is well positioned at the top, while the down part of the pattern is also well positioned at the bottom. This will not be the case for the second design piece, which I'm going to flip. See, the upper part is at the up, while the down part is also at the down part. I will now bring out the second piece. As you can see, it has been flipped. The down part is now at the upper part, while the upper part is now at the lower part. It's now at the bottom. I will now position it such that the tips of the first piece touches or almost touch the tips of the second piece. I will spread it open by 2 inches and I will pin in place. I will get rid of this sharp angle here using my French curve. I will now cut it out. I will remove the old pattern pieces like this. Then I will label the upper and the lower parts of the sections. I will also label the sections 1 and 2 so as to avoid confusion while sewing. So these are all the pattern pieces for the front of the skirt, which I'm going to cut out on my fabric. So now the cutting has been done. I've gone ahead to do the cutting. This is the main front piece, which I cut on fold. I use 1/2 inch seam allowance at the upper part, 1 inch at the side seam, and 1 inch for the hem. This is the band. I cut 1 piece on fold. I use 1/2 inch seam allowance at the upper and the lower part, and 1 inch for the side seam allowance. This is the smaller design piece for the asymmetrical twist front. I use 1 inch seam allowance all around the pattern. This is the second design piece for the asymmetrical twist front design detail. I use 1 inch seam allowance all around the pattern. This is the main front piece for the skirt and this is the band. I will now place the band on top of the main front skirt piece and I'll pin it in place like this, right side to right side. I will now take it to my sewing machine, stitch in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. I will now set aside the front skirt piece for now. This is the smaller piece for the twist front design detail. I will now go ahead and hem both the upper and the lower parts on my sewing machine. This is the second piece for the asymmetrical twist front design detail. I will now go ahead and hem this side, and I will also hem this lower part as well. So now all the necessary hemmings have been done for the two design pieces, as you can see. I will now set them aside for now, and I will bring out the main skirt piece. So this is the main skirt piece and the right side is facing up. I will now place the larger twist front design piece on top of it like this, with the right side also facing up. Watch carefully how I arrange the design piece on the main skirt piece. I left half an inch seam allowance at the upper part for fixing the second band piece later on. I will pin in place like this. I will now bring out the smaller twist front piece. Note that I haven't removed the pattern just yet for this one. This is because it will allow me to know which side will be the top and which side will be at the bottom. I will pin the top piece in place first, like this, leaving out half an inch seam at the upper part. Watch carefully how I twisted the second piece with the first one to achieve the twist front design piece. I will also pin the lower piece in place, then I will take it to my sewing machine and I will do the stitching on both sides using 1/4 of an inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see, and this is the final look of the asymmetrical twist front design detail. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.